Number 2, Ironbark Fella for Jason McGinty, stood down 2 trials, stood down 14 days. Number 3, Ruby Erector, Laurie Barnes. Number 4, Mexican Standoff for Bobby Hawkes. And number 5, She's a Pocket Rocket, Reese Moore. All horses being driven by the trainers. Now they're rolling. Penny's Following, Ironbark Fella, Ruby Reactor, Mexican Standoff, and She's a Pocket Rocket. And as the mobile heads toward dispatch point, our final trial of the day, arms fold in, away they go. Ironbark Fella comes out very, very quickly. Ruby Erector tries to come across and sit in the one out line. Mexican Standoff just being restrained this week rather than going forward as he did last week. And She's a Pocket Rocket pushing up on the inside of behind Penny's Following, who's going a bit roughly there on the first corner. Ironbark Fella leads out about 7 or 8 metres to make it 10 metres to Penny's Following. Ruby Reactor caught where she doesn't want to be, outside, leading the outside division. Then we've got She's a Pocket Rocket and about 10 metres back to Mexican Standoff. Coming down a little over 1,000 metres to go, and Ironbark Fella is about 15 metres now to Penny's Following. Ruby Reactor leading that outside division of 1. Then we've got She's a Pocket Rocket and Mexican Standoff. Coming into the top end, soon to be the front straight, and Ironbark Fella. The distance has been reduced and only leads about 6 or 7 metres now to Penny's Following. Ruby Reactor on the outside of Penny's Following. She's a Pocket Rocket through back the pegs, full back the pegs, we've got Mexican Standoff. Coming down to get the bell on this occasion, the last time today. Ironbark Fella leads about 3 metres, Ruby Reactor and Penny's Following together. Then She's a Pocket Rocket's come off the fence to follow Ruby Reactor, and Mexican Standoff about to do the same thing. But Ironbark Fella at the 600 leads about 10 metres now to Ruby Reactor. She's a Pocket Rocket quickly goes past Ruby Reactor to start a charge towards the lead. After Ruby Reactor, Penny's Following about 5 or 6 metres back, as is Mexican Standoff is also starting to make a charge forward from the 400. Gone past the 400, Ironbark Fella. She's a Pocket Rocket comes to the outside. Mexican Standoff chasing them down well as Ruby Reactor starts to feel the pinch of the hard run, and Penny's Following just tacking onto its back. One peg just jumped out, but She's a Pocket Rocket, Reese Moore surges out to the front. Mexican Standoff finishing off well. Ironbark Fella's going to sit down on the fence and still run second, I think. But She's a Pocket Rocket, about 7 or 8 metres to Ironbark Fella. In third we had Mexican Standoff, about 15 metres away in fourth, Penny's Following, another 25 back to Ruby Reactor.